Hello, this is Apostle Stacey Woods, and you are watching Dimensions of Stacey. And I want to thank you. You guys, it has been real these past, I can say this month. It's been very real. These past weeks these days have really been real. And in the process of it, I did receive a word from the Lord from a dear woman of God. And can I tell you the truth? I wasn't excited to hear that word. But what it did was it forced me into a place of maturity. It forced me to reevaluate some things and really put some things into perspective. God is a good God, and He's serious about His work. He is more concerned about us developing our personal growth and our character above any position or any act of service that we may do. Many times we do good things and good acts, and we do good deeds, um, and hoping that it will be enough to, I guess, compensate for things in our personal character that we really need to work on, things that we really, really need to fix, things about our attitude that we need to put in check. And God is not the kind of person that will just promote you and move you along without making you deal with some things. Because sovereignly, He knows that if we continue going on with these things in our spirit, we're going to eventually self-destruct. Can I tell you the truth? God has been dealing with me about me. Oh, you thought I was going to say about the church or about the body of Christ? No, it's been real. God has really been dealing with me about me. Now, everyone who knows me personally knows that I am probably my worst critic. You all would not believe the number of videos that I don't even post, because after I go back and look at them, I'm like, that's not going to fly. Do it over. Because I'm a critical thinker, just wired to be that way. It's a benefit to me, but sometimes it could also be a burden. So many times I'm very hard on myself. I accept no excuses. It is what it is. Black and white. Get it done. Don't complain. Don't murmur. Just get it done. That's the type of person that I am, and that's the kind of person that I am as it pertains to ministry. But unfortunately, in dealing with other people, I can be that way too. And so many times that tenacity, that drive, that push can be translated as not being considerate, being insensitive, being a taskmaster. And it does not always make for good relationships. Many people that are driven and people that are anointed to lead oftentimes find themselves at the top, but alone at the top. That's been my testimony, because many times when I find myself climbing, and when I really get focused and really get moving in the right direction, that's when everybody that I counted as valuable to my personal circle and my personal space, that's when everybody just starts dropping off. My God, what is going on? Although it is true that everybody cannot fly with eagles, it becomes to be very lonely sometimes. And guess what? If you're noticing that the same people are having the same problem with you, it's probably not the people. It's probably you. You probably could use some fine-tuning, some growth, some buffeting, some sharpening, some plain old growing up. It's always been my prayer, Lord, don't let me just blow up, but let me grow up in you. And how about this? Spiritual growth requires time. It's a lifelong journey. It's full of the highs, the lows, the trials, the errors, the ins, the outs, the successes, and the failures. In the end, God says that we are victorious. He says that we are more than conquerors. But in the midst of going through, you can be so defeated, and it seems as though you'll never get to where you're pressing to get. But are you interested in blowing up, just getting there overnight? Or are you interested in growing up? See, when you grow up, when you grow into somewhere or something, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have longevity in that place because you knew what it took to get you there. You don't take things for granted. You don't take resources for granted because you've learned through the struggle to get there how to value each and every person, how to value each and every resource, how to value each and every moment that God has given you. So I am growing up. Lord, help me. Because it is not easy. See, when you start off being a young child, you go through that novice stage where, oh, it's cute, you know. Oh, look at the little girl who can sing. Look at the little girl who can preach. Okay, and then everybody comes and oh, it's just so cute. You know, but then when you pass that cute stage, you know, people expect you to be mature. So you're no longer the little girl that preaches like a grown woman. Now you are a grown woman and you have to have the responsibility of one. So people don't take kindly to you making the mistakes that you should have learned years ago. Whew. So it's just time to grow. When you are stuck in a comfortable place, it is easy to just kick your heels back and say, okay, this is where I'm staying. But you're never challenged. You're never stretched. And you're miserable. Tell the truth. Why? Because you know that there is something in you that is greater than what you're doing. You are not designed just to be. Especially if you are anointed to lead. But what holds us back is the fear of failure. I'm at the point right now to where I'm saying, Lord, even if I fall, at least I obeyed you. What do I have to lose? Everything? Well, I gave up everything already. Had to start over so many times, all over again. But the will of God will not lead you where His grace and mercy cannot keep you. And that's not just a cute saying. I promise you the grace and the mercy of God will carry you through. So even through your growth, your growing times, you know, growing pains, and that's very real. Because sometimes it's painful to grow. So watch people that you walk with and get in covenant with walk away from you for no good reason. That hurts. To see people that you thought really, really, really had your back, people that you supported over the years, and you look for their support when it's time for you to step out to do what God has called you to do. It hurts when they are a no-show. Don't even call. Just don't show up. That hurts. It hurts when people don't believe in you. They believed you while you were helping them with their vision. But now that you're stepped out to do what He's called you to do, they just don't believe. Or they're waiting to see if it's going to last, to see if it's going to prosper. So the pressure to perform is even the more overwhelming because you know that everybody expects you to lose anyway. What I want to say to you today, as I minister to myself, keep growing. Never be afraid to make mistakes. But when you make mistakes, learn how to say, I'm sorry, I messed up, my bad, I missed that one. Forgive me. Please give me the opportunity to do that again. That's what growth does. Growth does not defend that you're perfect, because none of us are. Growth embraces those imperfections and say, okay, now let's learn from it. And let's do better the next time. And no, we're not going to give up. No, we're not going to throw a temper tantrum. No, we're not going to go on strike. No, we're not going to leave God and backslide and just want to go hide up under the juniper tree like the prophet did after he defeated Jezebel, which was a major victory. Then he wanted to go hide. And you know, we go through those highs and lows. Usually right after a victory comes a crazy, crazy, crazy test and a trial. But it's only to sustain you and bring you to that next place. These are words from the heart, and I pray that they have been a blessing to you. And I want you to continue to enjoy Jesus and all His joy. And thank you for making ministry possible.